So, guys, I'm on the streets and I'm asking people questions on, what life is generally and what do you need for you to make it in life. Like, what are the, like the things that you must have for you to believe, for you to know that you lived a good life and all that. So today, I've met one of the best videographers in Nairobi, and I met him in his studio. By the way, he's one of the best videographers, and I'm just asking him the very question that I'm asking each and every person, like, what is life, and what do people say? When do people say that life is good and all that? Like, what are the things that you need in life for you to say that you've lived a fulfilled life?
Well, my name is Nick, and I believe people have different perception, or they have different thinking of about what is life. But I think living a wealthy life is one of the key things. Everybody would love to live a wealthy life, but some of us, or most of the people in this world, are rushing for richness, rushing for money. Actually, I can categorize life into 5 stages, which are very, very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Point number one, you must have a good relationship with your God, regardless of your condition, whether you are healthy, unhealthy, poor, rich, whichever condition you are in, whether you have a family, whether you don't have, whether you are married or you are not, regardless of what, you must have a good relationship with God. That is the key thing. That is the first thing you should fight for in this world.
Nick, when you talk about you have a good relationship with your God, what do you mean? Okay, which God are you talking about? Because there are very many gods in this world.
God that has created you, that has given you life. That life, that you are alive. You are alive. Whether you are feeling pain, whether you are not feeling pain, whether you can be able to feed yourself, whether you cannot be able to feed yourself, whether you don't have clothes or you have, it doesn't matter. God has kept you alive with a purpose. And you should respect that and honor that God. Point number two, and this one is very important, but you just take it for granted, is to have a companion. Somebody you are close to. Yes, a confidant. Somebody you can share with everything. Everything without lies or without hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have partners
Mm-hmm.
who are not even our confidant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of which it's not all that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can imagine you have a spouse that cannot tell you anything or everything about herself or himself. There are some things you can't know about
But
that
people
person.
don't just trust each other because there are people who have said everything about themselves, but the other person used it as used it against them. And they feel like, wow, I trusted you with everything, and then this is the fire you've gotten to me. Like you're already spilling everything on social media. It happens more nowadays on social media. You tell someone everything, then when you guys are not in terms, he sends all those things on social media. So what do you do about that?
No problem. Because it doesn't mean when you are done bad things, you should also do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, what is the difference between you and that person? Because if I do you wrong and then you do me wrong, what's our difference?
We are all bad people.
We are all bad people.
Yeah.
If your companion has gone out and said everything about you, or the negative side of you, that person has just undressed you. And let me tell you one thing today. Even if you come here to my studio, you remove all my clothes, you took all my clothes and go with them, I cannot cross even a road without being given other clothes by
Why not?
How? People will give me
if
clothes.
you're already undressed in the public, then what's the shame for? Because already the public has seen you naked, so
Yes,
you just walk around and go.
But people will not accept that.
And
Likewise, God will not accept you to go naked.
Nick, we are living in a world where no one really cares about anything. What people get out of their pockets or from their pockets to start is their phones and start filming you and sharing it on social media platforms.
I assure you, even a mad person cannot go 100 meters being naked without being given clothes by other people. Even a mad person.
Then I think I'm living in a different world, because the world I'm living in now, everyone will be on TikTok, live on TikTok, showing your nakedness and all
that one can take place because there are some people who are like that. But I assure you, out of 100 people, you will not lack one person
who is more sensible,
and who is more humane to dress you.
That's right. I'm agreeing with
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So when I say you will not cross a road or a street, you cannot go even 100 meters before having other new clothes where you do not even put even a dime, even a single cent of yourself. So if somebody does you wrong, don't just go and revenge or do any wrong. No, just be somebody different. When you see a crack in your house, don't create another crack so that that wall can fall out. No, just close the gap.
So what you're trying to say, tit for tat is not a fair game,
It's not a fair game.
and tit for
Maybe-
tat will destroy the whole world.
It will destroy the whole. That's why we are living the way we are. If people are good, you do me wrong, I do you good. My friend, you will change.
A hand for a hand will make everyone lame. A leg for a leg will make everyone lame.
And that's why Jesus changed all this.
And there's no one who will.
So, the other third thing, I've
So we
said-
talked about a spouse. You know, nowadays when we talk about a spouse,
Yes.
it can be John and John as a spouse. So we talk about a spouse. What do you really mean?
No.
Are you talking about the original creation of God, Adam and Eve?
Adam and Eve, that is a spouse, that is a husband and a wife, that is like that.
But nowadays even Adams can change their names to Eve.
No. I mean a male and a female.
So biologically.
Biologically, male and female.
Okay.
That one, I'll stand with that one.
Okay.
A companion that you live with, whether you get children or you not get children.
That's another thing, by the way. When you talk about a
Yes.
companion, people look into companionships like marriages. I know when you talk about companionship, you're talking about marriage. When people talk about marriages, they're talking about marriages in terms of bearing the children. So when there are no children, there's no marriage. So they'll try to look for another thing or someone else on the other end to try to pull up the strings. So
If God decides not to give you children,
is it real God who gives children?
you might be unhealthy. You might not be able to give to get children,
Mhm.
either being the man or being the wife, or both of you.
I have a tougher question for you. If you
Yes.
say God gives children, then there are people who get children and they throw them away and they feel like those children are curses to them. So God gave them a curse.
Not really. That's a mistake.
You think that's a mistake they do?
Yes, that's a very gross mistake they do.
Okay.
You cannot just throw away a children. Actually, there's no bigger gift in this world than being given another human being.
Mhm.
Yes.
Regardless of the situation of that human being, because there
Yes.
are others who have some.
Regardless of the situation you are in, regardless of the condition of the person. Actually, people forget that you may look at a person maybe with inabilities or with maybe a certain condition. There are physical conditions with the person. Maybe the person has a physical condition. You see that maybe this person cannot see, this person cannot walk, this person cannot do this. But actually we have so many other problems, which are maybe others are spiritual, other are characters. Yes, so disabilities are in many ways. It's only that we do not understand. Maybe you left your spouse because the spouse had an disability. And that disability was not physical, it was character. Why don't you try? If today you get a lame person or a person who is deaf or a person who is blind, those are physical
disabilities.
If you get that person, actually you live with that person because you understand. Why don't you try to understand a person who has a physical character,
An intellectual disability.
an intellectual disability, a character disability? Maybe the person is a drunkard, and if he tries, he actually doesn't like it. He regrets or she regrets. Maybe somebody has people are having so many bad characters. Others, they regret so much after they do it, after they do them. So, and others do have what we call spiritual disabilities. You find somebody today saved, tomorrow he has fallen, and we find these people in church. You find these people are so much cursed.
No, I have a question for you.
Yes,
I don't know
ask.
if you have a tougher question for you. The first question is, what if the character disability is messing up, destroying the life of the other person? Should you just understand them and continue living with them?
Actually, you should love them. Maybe
Even if their character disability is really messing up with the mental health and the physical health.
unless it is becoming a threat that it might kill you. Maybe this person is threatening to kill you or it is trying to kill you. That one you can run away from. But other disabilities, like they are not torturing you so much, they are not torturing you to an extent that is threatening your life. You can try to mend that. Sometimes we carry crosses, but I don't say you must.
Okay.
Life is a choice. Life is totally a choice.
So the decision that everyone makes.
The decision is yours. You have to make your own decisions. But I believe today, if you are told to get into a field of running, you compete with young children and you win, actually it is not a jubilation. There will be no need for celebration. But today, if you go and start running with those people who you hear they are international,
They've achieved great in the
they
field of
achieved
running.
great medals in the field of running,
Athletics, yeah.
and you win them, my friend, you will jubilate and everybody will celebrate
Of
you.
course, you'll be the talk of the world.
So
Imagine you beating Kipchoge now.
but why now? Why should we not also try to beat up things of this life?
But you don't know. Okay, with the human beings tend to change with time and all that, but the races don't change. If it's 100 meters, you remain to be 100 meters. So it's you to compete against the 100 meters. So the 100 meters will not be so much intellectual that you're trying to run in a straight line, then the line goes crooked and all that. But human beings do change. So you cannot, you cannot really say in the next 20 years I'll still be the way I am. Like my voice will still be the same voice, and my stature will still be the same stature. Things will change.
Even if it will change, I believe in one thing: your character can change. I have a relative.
Please don't mention their name.
I don't mention their names,
Okay,
and I don't say whether it is an uncle, whether it is a cousin,
Yeah, you
whether
don't need to
it's a brother.
Yeah.
It's just a relative.
Because they'll be watching and be like, oh, so man, you decided to go on social media
So,
and tell me
I have
about
a
me.
relative.
And they will never trust you again, brother.
And that relative was so good to me, and he told me a lot. And actually, he mentored me so much. And when I saw how their family was going on, I was worried because the man was bad. He wasn't good. By then, he could come even with girls at the bed of the wife, and they sleep, the three of them.
Was
But
he drunk or just...
He was also drunk. He was a drunkard.
So he goes to a club, he comes up with
Yes.
another Gashungwa.
But the wife could not go away. She kept on running. Today, that man is one of the greatest men in this country of ours.
You want to talk about is a preacher?
He's not a preacher.
Okay.
Actually, you cannot even recognize him, but he is respected by almost everybody.
In this country?
Yes. Because this woman stood her ground until the day this man saw, actually, I've been doing wrong. You know what happened?
I don't know. Maybe if you
Okay,
share.
this man used to drink. And they used to drink. They go there with other men. They are very dirty. And this lady was very, very, very neat. They clean people. Clean. So one day, he went with 3 men. And it rained. Rained and rained. So they fell. When they were going home, they were falling down, and they became very muddy. And when they reached home, the wife welcomed all of them. And he welcomed them to the sitting room. They stepped on the carpet. They sat on those chairs with all the mud. And the wife gave them food, gave them water to wash and everything. And she was happy. They have come home safely. They have arrived safely. And the other men, the following day, they told that man, you cannot drink in this town unless you go and drink. You cannot have such a good wife who can be like that. And you decide to be doing such bad things to that lady. And I tell you one thing, you have to change. And out of the council of the sea drunkards, they cancelled him until he changed.
So the blind man, the drunkards made another drunkard guy to stop drinking.
Yes.
And love the wife.
And today, that man, even if he goes and finds like maybe something that can harm a child on the road, he's a rich guy. He just stops the car, he picks it, he throws it away, gets back to the car, and continues with the journey.
So what you're trying to say is there are character issues that can be changed.
Yes, they can be changed. It's
And
only that.
it's just you being patient with that person long enough. And do people have that patience? Do people really have that patience to it?
No.
And why do you think people don't have that patience to it? Because everyone wants
Because
everything for themselves.
Out of the 5 things I told you, they ran for the last one. Let's go for the third one.
Okay, let's do it.
The third thing, we said the first one is to have good relationship with God.
With your creator.
The second thing,
You said companionship.
companionship.
Yeah, and you
The
gave a
third
very
thing.
good example of a very good companion
Yes.
who made the man change.
Yes.
Oh, that's
The
that's
third-
powerful.
The
Uh-huh.
third thing, you should have a family. Not necessarily yours.
Not
but-
necessarily biological.
Not-
That's what you mean.
it might be, it can be biological because you are born by, you are in a nuclear family where your mother and father came from, and maybe your spouse where they came from. That is a family.
Okay.
You have to have a family. Yes, that one is very important. And family, they are not friends, and you should know that. Maybe friends can be better than a family, but to have a family that you are being called, you are being, there are those family names that we use, but
So you're saying there's a difference between friends and family?
yeah, there's a big difference.
What do you think is
You are
one of the
blood coded,
difference? Yeah.
and you are also umbilically coded with your family people.
But there are people who say friends stick together to them more,
That is very
more
true.
than their family members.
That is very true. But I tell you, there is a big difference between a family person and a person who you are coded with. That's why, even during those ancient days, even if you read in those ancient books, even in our Bible, you see that there was a family of the Levites who were priests, and it could not be taken from any family. A family has its own things. There are those family of kings, and it could not be taken from any family. And things are like that. And things are like that. So respect that family. Whether you are the lowest in that family, whether you are the highest in that family. And it is also another important thing. The fourth thing that you should rush for, and you should care about, is at least having a community you are associated with. Those are friends, church, country. You belong somewhere. You belong somewhere.
After the family, you need to have a sense of belonging. Like, apart from the family, you still have other people that you look unto.
Yes.
And people that you sit down to hear from. People who encourage you whenever you're down. And people who are ready to take your hand up whenever you're down and all that.
That's where now friends come. Because even if you go outside, even if you transfer from Kenya, if you go to maybe a place like USA, Australia, or China, and you train yourself all those languages, you remain a Kenyan, and you belong to a certain family. Like now, the Obama was the president of United States
of America.
But everybody remembered that he was born from
It was a Kenyan descent, with a Kenyan descent, African descent.
the Kenyan African descent, actually from the lowland. So
So to be specific,
to be very specific. So it was specifically known he's a low. So you see, these are things. Even if you change everything, your bloodline will never change.
Okay.
And the last
that is
thing,
true.
and that is what we are all fighting for. To date, a person can bypass all the rest. He can disrespect God, decide to do away with a companion, and even destroy him, and even kill him.
Sacrifice them to get
Even sacrifice their
to
family.
get the last thing.
Even sacrifice
That's
their
their
friends.
To get the last thing.
Can sacrifice all the rest
Eh.
to get money and riches. These things we see, buildings, cars, whatever, those are not wealth.
Those are riches.
These are just riches. And that's why even if you die, they'll never be counted anywhere. Actually, you'll be told whether you are close to God. People will talk whether you had family, whether you had children. People will talk about your family. People will talk about whether you had church, whether you belong to which community. Those things will be aligned in your eulogy.
But when someone dies, if we used to do wrong things, they still, give him a very good, they call it a good send-off, and the good speech is given. Even if he was a thief, they still decide he was a very a philanthropic person. Loved the community, loved God so much, and they don't really say the dirty stuff that this guy did. So it doesn't really matter to some people.
Those dirty stuff do matter, because to some extent, even you see nobody will be like to be associated. Actually, there are people who are buried without all those speeches. You just go and place that person, return him to soil, and that's all. And you do away with that person. So
those are the 5
for
things.
you to be wealthy, that lineage has to go that way. If you start the other way around, actually you will destroy all the rest for the sake of this. And that's why you see we have become a very merciless, a very ruthless race, that we are looking for the last thing that you are supposed to have in this life. Actually, you can survive without money, but you cannot survive without God. You can live without money with the rest.
But there are rich people who don't know anything about God, and they're okay with that.
That is God who has created them. That's a fact.
Talk about Bill Gates. Does he really care about God? At least Elon Musk will say, even if he doesn't really believe in the God of those people are saying he believes in a supernatural creator who created
And I
the
believe
realities.
you don't have an evidence about that.
Evidence about what?
Whether they know God or they don't know God.
But
You don't know when they're in their private what they talk about.
So when they're in the public, they say with God they are not closer to God, and when they're in private they go.
Yeah.
Because if you love God, you still confess the same even in the public. If
Like,
you have money, you don't say in the public I don't have money, in the private I have a lot of money. No.
how many people say I don't have money, yet they have billions?
Yeah, they will tell you they don't have money to take care of your needs, but they have billions.
That's-
Now, someone like Bill Gates has never said he doesn't have money. He has money. He's one of the richest people in this world.
Yeah, because he knows that you people know he has money. He also goes to the internet and he sees that you have already displayed that.
But he's always on Forbes, on the list of the richest people in the world. So.
Yes, he knows because he's on the on the list.
So he should also be, if he really believes in God, he should also come clean and say, I believe in God, the Almighty Yahweh, on those sort of things. But he's
A
more
living mouth that has, what do you call it? A living mouth that is alive can say either true
of false things.
or false things. Which we say that, they are true or false things. So
Like-
whatever a mouth speaks,
What will Bill Gates lose to say he loves God or he's a born again Christian? What will he lose?
if he's not a born again Christian, why should he say that so that to impress
And
people?
that's what I'm trying to tell you. So
You should
he
not do
has
things
never,
to
he has never confessed on that, and that is why people know that he's not part of it.
I'll tell you one thing,
Okay, tell me, bro.
my friend. Even in the Bible, there is nowhere, and if there is any place that is written that, and I'm not trying to fight the church,
Okay.
that those words we repeat after the pastor, that I confess that I'm saved.
In the book of Romans,
I'm
it writes, with your heart you believe,
No,
and you led unto
I'm-
righteousness,
they are-
and with your mouth you confess for salvation.
I'm repeating.
Okay.
Are those words which we repeat, are they?
They are not
derived?
biblical. They are not biblical.
They are not biblical.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that we do in this world that are only for this world. They are created by human beings.
But
Are not
confession,
what we did.
confession is made into salvation.
I know that, but
And
I'm
once
trying
you confess, Jesus says this: if you're shy of Him before the people, He'll also be shy.
I also
of
do
you.
confess that,
Yeah.
but now I'm trying to tell you that whatever, there are so many things that we do that are not even in the line.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But when it comes to confession, telling people that I am of Jesus, I'm a disciple of Jesus, I believe in Jesus, that one we don't have any other way around it. Whether you're rich or you're poor, we should not be afraid of anything. If you're afraid of Him before other people, He will also be.
I don't believe it's about being afraid. I think some people need to be, because I don't believe even people like if David, who
You're talking about the biblical David.
yes, King David,
Okay.
if David lived today, actually in our country today, and instead of the guy who was the general of the army general who died on the airplane, Ogola, maybe he died and then the president took the wife of Ogola. Then, and you know that this is the person who did that, my friend.
Of course, the whole world will condemn him. The same way they condemned David, but
Yes.
David found solace in God because he went and repented his sins unto God.
Because it is written, but maybe it wasn't in public.
Okay, we can
Things
get
are there.
specifically into that and try to say. But
So that's how serious things are.
That
So
is-
you need to be close to God, not to people. It doesn't matter what you tell
But if
people.
you love God, then loving people won't be. If you truly love God, you know we will never have issues with loving people. If you
never
truly
have.
love God,
I don't say about loving people. You don't have to tell people that I do love God, I do what. Let your actions speak loud than even what your tongue says. Let anybody who sees you see God. All right? Let not your mouth speak for you. Usijipigie debe sana. Wacha matendo yako ikupigie debe.
so what you say and what you do should be in line. That's what we're trying to say.
actually what you do should surpass what you say.
But you have a mouth to speak. If you're dumb enough, you cannot speak. Then I'll go with what you do more. But if you can speak and you can do, I'll go on what you say and what you do should be in line.
Okay, that is you. As for me,
Yeah.
even if you keep on speaking the whole day for 12 hours, I'll follow what you do. Yes, because you cannot preach for me water and then you drink wine. I'll
Wait.
follow exactly what you do.
Wine is not bad.
I didn't say wine is bad.
It's
and,
okay.
and I tell you one thing. There is one person. I want to bring that notion that God should come first. Before even the church, before even anything else. There was one pastor who had a good congregation. But these people are always online when he is preaching. Facebook, WhatsApp, everywhere. And one girl who was very good in that church, who was very good and following the pastor very well, one day woke up and she was so annoyed about the character of the people, and went and told Pastor, I want to leave this church. I want to go to another church. The reason is, these people do not listen to the word of God. They are always online, they are always chatting, they are always SMSing, they are always doing what? Walking around when you are preaching, and you do nothing about it. The pastor told the girl, my friend, you have done a very noble thing. I'll give you permission to go to wherever you want to go, because this is word of God. But I request you to come only for one Sunday. But when you come to this church, come with a glass. Just a glass. Then that Sunday came. That is the coming Sunday. After 7 days, they were there in the church. Pastor had bought water. He called the girl before he started preaching. Now I want to pray to start preaching. So and so come forward. Bring the glass, I asked you. The girl came with a glass. Hold it. Poured water in the glass. And he told the girl, as I preach, please walk around the church. But don't let even a drop of water get out of the glass.
So the glass was filled to the brim.
The glass was filled to the brim. So the girl walked carefully, slowly, carefully. And by the time she was finishing walking around the church, the glass had not, no water had spilled off. And now she had her permission. But before she left, the pastor told, now, because you have successfully passed my exam, I just leave you with only one word. I'll ask you one question. Did you see anybody on WhatsApp today? No. Any chatting? No. Anybody walking out? No. Because she was serious, looking on the water so that it may not spill over. So, then he told the girl, wherever you go, concentrate on what made you to come to the church. That is the word of God. That is God. Not about the people who came. Not about me. You came here to pray God and to give thanks to God. Just concentrate on what is important. The rest is not important. Why should it bother you? And that girl decided to sit down, and he never went anywhere. And everybody was shocked about the wisdom in that man. So, also in this world, I would suggest that let us not concentrate about the other people. They are important. We cannot live by ourselves. But if everybody lived his life without anything envying the other person, we could have a very smooth, beautiful life in this world.
By the way, living in a broken world with broken people who don't really know they're all about themselves and all that. By the way, guys, that was so interesting, and I know you guys have learned a lot from history. If you have any question to ask, it would be better if you ask that question, and make sure you subscribe. You subscribe, because it's just a beginning or a continuation of what we're talking about, and you'll be getting such and such a stories in every time we come online. So the best thing for you to do is to make sure you click on the notification bell, and please subscribe. Don't just leave and share this story. If you have a story you want to share, you're welcome. So Nick, where should people get you if they want to do their videos and all that?
Should I give my number?
No, you just give your social media platforms. If you need this number, I'll give you the number.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
I'll share. Can I do the number on the bottom of the screen? Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
the number on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
That would be
it's
much
better that way.
Yeah,
You can do the number.
yeah.
Yes. But actually, all my videos are branded Dr. Mose as the director. Any video that I've done, there are so many or thousands of videos on YouTube, well known in Kenya, and I thank God for everything.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you so much.
On social media platforms, which are social media you
Oh,
know, you're on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok, Dr. Mose, or Nick Wagura.
That is
Mose,
Facebook.
all social medias.
Okay, Nick Wagura.
Nick Wagura, Facebook, Nick Wagura or Dr. Mose, that is TikTok. And also in the Dr. Nick, also bado in TikTok. I have several TikToks, each for video, for medicine. We talk about medicine in future. That is about stem cell. Next time, same channel.
So that should be on the next, and that's what should be on the next episode. Be talking about the medicine. You're talking about you're a doctor, so people really want to know. Okay, you're saying you're a doctor, in which, and people, I know people will be surprised on that. So okay, guys, keep it on Alan Hoy YouTube channel or Alan Hoy TV. So waambie wafanye nini, wa subscribe na wabakie tu hapo, si ndio?
Yes, subscribe.
Asante sana.
Na ubakie hapo. Nimeambiwa tu niseme hivyo.
Usijaribu kutoka.